you're worrying about American men too much.
Oh, maybe. You know what? Because, yeah, they're not doing me justice right now.
I don't think they are.
All right, geese. Down my head in. Fucking hell. Mine's a little bit different.
I love it.
Oh, I like their interaction. I think they're cute. I think they would make a cute couple. Please, if you're a Catherine and Scott fan, don't come after me. I'm just saying what I see. And they really had great conversations and seemed very relaxed around each other. So we'll see. I have a feeling that Scott is either going to choose Imani. If he doesn't choose Imani, he's going to choose Destiny, because I think that's more his lane. I don't think Kassy, even though they seemed to get along well, I don't think he would want to step into that love square. So I guess he'll lean more towards Destiny or Imani rather than put himself in that mess. And I'm so sorry. I'm back at work. This is a hectic week for me, so my reviews are going to be late. Anyway, hey there, it's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We're still trying to get to 1,000. Click the like button, leave a comment, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island USA, Season 5, Episode 31. So Cass is on her date with Scott. I think they had great conversations. He seemed very relaxed. If you've watched him on Love Island UK, he ended up with Abby and he was very tense all the time. I liked how they were communicating, how attentive he seemed. But then we go back into the villa and you have Leonardo looking like a fool. I think the producers did him wrong, really, because he didn't deserve that. Because he's just standing there. He doesn't know where she is. No one in the villa seems to know where she is. They're all saying, you know, she hasn't come back. I don't know whether she was called as going to the beach hut and then suddenly she found herself on a date with Scott. And so everyone is just standing there restless and they don't know what to do with themselves. Do I think Kassy and Leo should go back together? I said it before, I said no. I think the producers need to bring Leo a girl. I think they need to bring him someone in because Kassy and him are done. He needs somebody else. I think Leo is one of the people that should go to the finale. I know it's controversial, but Leo has been entertaining. If we're going to hold him to a certain standard, then we need to hold everybody else, because he's not the only person to have had sex in the villa. People like, yes, he's the only one who's had sex with someone that he wasn't coupled up with at the time, but still, he's not the first person to have sex in the bedroom. Kenan and KK had sex in the bedroom. Harrison and Emily, Hannah and Marco. So he's not the first person. And if we're going to hold him to a certain standard, then we also need to be holding Jonay to that standard, because it was the two of them. He just didn't do it by himself, and he didn't force her to do it. Anyway, then Bergie pulls Imani for a chat and tells her that she'd rather stick with Taylor. I don't like it. I don't like how the producers are now making Imani that way. They should have left her alone. She didn't need to go after Bergie. She never showed interest in him. So for her to suddenly be that desperate that she goes after Bergie didn't make sense. I really didn't like that for her. And she seems okay with it. And while they're having a conversation, Kassy turns up and pulls Imani for a chat and tells her about Scott and the fact that she's going for a date with Scott. I think I like Imani with Scott. I was really rooting for Destiny, but I think I like him with Scott, because Scott, if you know Scott, then you know Scottisha. Scott is someone who's got these one-liners. Yes, he would have been amazing with Destiny with their one-liners, but I think with Imani, she brings out his bubbly side, his more friendlier side, his happier side from the few interactions that I've seen of them. And she is sort of taken away by Scott. You can see she's dumbfounded. She doesn't know what to say. She's just looking at him. And I hope he doesn't do a Harrison. I don't hope he doesn't love bomb her and then dump her at the last minute the way Harrison dumped Destiny. That would really be upsetting for me. And as much as I want to hold back and say I don't like them as a couple, I can see them being a great couple. Please, if you're a Catherine stunner, please, no offense, I'm just saying what I see as usual. I think if he were to couple up with anyone in the villa, I think it would either be Imani or Destiny. But I think he's way too young for Destiny, so I think it would have to be Imani. And I hope the producers bring Destiny someone before the finale. I want her to stay in. She's been through a lot. They've dragged her through the mud. They've given her a negative edit. The least she deserves is to be kept until the finale. Whether she wins or not is another story. But if people like Carmen and Kenzo can get away with scamming people and pretending like they don't know one another and be given a great edit, then Destiny deserves to stay till the end. And she deserves an arc. It's time they give her a positive edit. That's just my opinion. She's still in the hideaway. I think she's still feeling unwell, so she's not with everybody else. So Kassy, when she returns to the villa pools, Carmen for a chat, because Carmen kept asking her, "Why are you ignoring me? Why are you ignoring me?" And it's like, "You're not the center of the world. Please sit down." Anyway, they have a conversation. She tells her that Scott is there. They all seem excited, and Leo's in the background. He's just wondering, why is Kassy avoiding me? Because he's prepared this date for her, and she doesn't seem to have picked up on it. Everyone else in the villa knows that this date is supposed to be taking place, so they are all feeling very awkward. And eventually he approaches Kassy for a date. I have to take my hat off to Kassy. Kassy has had a personal growth throughout the season that is amazing to watch, really, because she came in, she wanted Leo, she was coupled up with Leo, then started chasing after Keenan, then went coupled up with Bergie, then went back to Leo, then went to Casa, then came back with Mateo, and there was the cheating episode and blah blah. But one thing about her is she's always stood in her truth. She's never let anybody else's voice or any noise drown her out. So she sat down with Leo and told him that it was amazing that he had planned the date, but at this point she's closed the romantic door when it comes to the two of them, and she would rather build a friendship. I said this before, that it's going to be very difficult for her to trust him once this has happened, because every time she's going to be wondering, is he cheating on me or is he doing this? It's a pity that things went the way they did with Jonay, and so he's lost Kassy. And I have to give her credit. I wish people like KK had learned from Kassy or from Destiny, because this is what you should do. People should be held accountable for their actions, and everybody else doesn't need to be there giving their two coins in. It just needs to be the person that's involved and the offender dealing with each other in a way that they feel is best for them. This is why I was very upset when Carmen tried to insert herself in this situation, because this situation had nothing to do with her. This is why Kassy took the actions that she did, because she knew what was in her best interest and not what everybody else felt was in her best interest. So I really love her and support her for that. I feel sorry for Leo because he made a mistake, and sadly, he's lost the one person who cared the most about him in the villa. And now chances of him going home are very likely, because there's no one else for him to couple up with unless the producers bring in more people. I thought they would have brought in two people, given the fact that there were two people that volunteered to go home. They planned on eliminating 4 people and they ended up eliminating 6. So I expected them to have brought in 2 people, but hey, maybe they're still coming. Scott and Imani come back from their date, and Scott brought Scottisha with him, because the way he was so vocal and he was so bubbly and he was so outgoing is totally different to the man who was drained and just wanted to leave the villa in the Love Island UK. Anyway, everybody's surprised to see him, because apparently they all saw it. Well, the majority of them saw him on Love Island UK. Some people actually knew that he was coupled up with Catherine before she went to Casa. And so he sits everybody by the fire pit, and he sort of wants to know who's closed off, who's not closed off, after introducing himself, obviously. And turns out Taylor is closed off. She's closed off with Berg, and it's like, oh, okay, I would close off because Berg is not going to go anywhere. You're the one who's going to have to leave him. So if he's all in, after all, he's told the man he's all in, so I get why you would say you're closed off. Hannah and Carmen say they're closed off, and it's like, okay, yeah, it is what it is, because I don't see them going with anyone else, especially Carmen. Her scam, she's going to run it till the end and after the show. And then the boys sort of go and have a conversation, and the girls have a conversation just to catch up, and everybody eventually finds out that Kassy actually went on the date with Scott first, and then it was Imani, and they're both so impressed by Scott. I think Scott is a great guy. Scott is a great guy in the sense that the way he carried himself on Love Island UK and all the things that he went through, and he never once sort of lost his cool. He only lost it with Mitch, but Mitch was becoming too much. And so then Kassy sort of lets the girls know that she's had a conversation with Leo and told him that, the romance side of their relationship is gone. It's just now a friendship, and that's all they can do. And everyone is ecstatic for her that, she stood her ground. I think they are relieved after the whole KK scenario with Keenan, that at least somebody has been able to know her worth and stand her ground, which I give them a lot of credit for. And I will continue to bring in my girl Destiny, because it seems Destiny and Kassy know their worth, and they're not going to put up with nonsense from these little boys, and I could not be more excited for them. Leo has a conversation with Kenzo and Marco, and it's just sort of reminiscing on his relationship with Kassy and what went wrong and how he feels at the moment, because he did tell Kassy that you're the only person for me. If not you, then I'll go home. Even when Kassy was telling the girls, you could see the look on Jonay's face. Jonay was jealous. Jonay was jealous at the idea that Leo was saying that Kassy is it for him. It's like, leave him alone. The boys were just listening to him. He looked like he wanted to cry, and I really feel sorry for him that he made a mistake. And sadly, the mistake he made, there was no coming back, because he went, all out. If he had maybe kissed Jonay or touched Jonay or something else, I think Kassy might have forgiven him. But the fact that he went all the way in, that's why he's stuck where he is now. Scott pulls Jonay for a chat, and she's giddy. All the girls are giddy on their date with Scott. I think they're also infatuated by him because of how good looking he is and the fact that he appears emotionally intelligent. And, because they've seen him on the show, I think that's the other thing that's sort of throwing them off a bit. And so it will be interesting to see. But then Jonay, I don't think Jonay is it for Scott. I think she's already a red flag, even because the moment she said she was older than him, and she said her age, you could see he was like, oh, you're 26 and you're behaving like, you're a teenager having sex in a room with 12 other people. But hey, it's a no judgment zone. So we'll see. Everybody else gets ready for the night, and Imani sort of talking to Hannah about her date with Scott. Imani is really taken by Scott. I think Imani sees herself with Scott. So it's just a matter of whether Scott sees himself with Imani, because he's the one who's going to get the first choice to pick, and it's going to be up to him who he decides to pick. And then you have Jonay, the double standard. The fact that she says, oh, Leo, Leo betrayed you, Leo this. You were part of the act that betrayed Kassy, so you have no leg to stand on. You are the last person to be giving Kassy advice, so I would rather you please stay wherever you are and mind your own business. Everybody else, well, they're just sort of walking around. And I'm surprised nobody said anything about Destiny, though, although she was shown still in the hideaway, asleep. She's still unwell, and I hope she gets well soon. I would have thought that the producers would have wanted to, show a clip a bit longer than what they showed, or maybe she's the one who didn't consent to being shown sick, or they wanted to respect her privacy while she's unwell. This is why they just showed a small snippet of Destiny and then moved on. In the morning, the islanders wake up. Imani is gone with Scott, and Imani is putting pressure on Scott to pick her. And we know Scott's type, Catherine, Imani. Hey, it is what it is. And then so Destiny returns, yay! And everyone is excited to see her. Kassy is someone who's genuine. Carmen is putting on an act, because when she sees that everybody's running to hug Destiny, then she stands up as an afterthought, because she was busy stroking her hair when Destiny walked in and people were saying hello. They were rushing to Destiny, and she sat there and looked around and then realized, oh crap, we're all supposed to run. And then she decided, in my opinion, I don't buy whatever Cass is selling. The girls then tell Destiny about, Scott, and they go and they peek. She gets a peek to see how he looks, and he's busy talking to the boys, which is amazing. And then Destiny decides to vent to the girls that, when we're in Casa, I explained. So it seems she explained to Zay about the situation with Mike and the fact that she would need to iron things out with Mike when they got to the villa. And for him to play ignorant and pretend as though he didn't know anything doesn't make sense to me. And the fact that, I don't want to insult him, but I think he's a bit slow. He's told Destiny at least 2 or 3 times already that, he's open to exploring connections with other people. When he told her on the night after everyone was eliminated that I would have had regret that I didn't explore connections with other people, so I'm open to getting to know people. And it's like, what the hell? People are criticizing Destiny for ending things with these guys, but they don't see how slow these guys are. How many times they make false allegations. Oh, I'm going to put myself first and not care about how Destiny feels. And Mark was chiming in. Oh, yes, that's the way to handle Destiny. And it's like, I would really like to know what's going on with these guys that Destiny has coupled up with, because they all feel some type of way as soon as she dumps them. And she's dumped every single one of them, even if they've been stolen. And so the idea that they all are in their feelings every time she breaks up with them and they all want her out of the villa doesn't make sense. I feel like all the guys thus far that have been coupled up with Destiny have been after the sole goal of being the one that conquers Destiny. And sadly, all of them keep falling because she's not buying whatever they're selling. She didn't buy what Marco was selling. She didn't buy what Harrison was selling. She didn't buy what Jonah was selling. Neither did she buy what Noah was selling, what Mike was selling, or even Zay. And so they get in their feelings because they've realized that they're unable to conquer her and that she's still standing despite everything they've done. Then they start trying to tear her from the outside, and it's like, why? Why? You told her you're open to getting to know other people. Fine, that's it. Don't pretend as though you haven't told her. Don't pretend as though she's pushing you to say, no, we need to be in a couple. She did not say that. So why are you doing that? And when Destiny tells the girls, they're just like, oh, okay. I think for them, they're like, oh, it is what it is. Because most of the Casa boys have been playing up. They played characters to be brought to the villa, and now they're showing their true selves. It's the audacity for me. It's the audacity. I don't know how slow Zay thinks Destiny is. Destiny has already said she only needs to learn something once, and that's it. They had a conversation. He said he was open to getting to know other people. She asked him if he wanted to end things. He and stuttered, and then suddenly he's pulling her for a chat. And he wanted to play victim because he made sure that the guys could hear what was being said. Because there was no need for him to pull her where Kenzo was and for him to say, oh, I need to talk to you. And she's right to say no. She hasn't been feeling great. You haven't asked her, how are you feeling or anything. The first thing is, let's have a conversation. About what? About what? I deserve the right. I deserve... What right do you deserve? She should have left you in Casa and then you'd have deserved your right on the flight out of Fiji. I don't get it. And then for him to turn to Kenzo, you see, this is how it always is. We are watching a totally different show. We are watching a totally different show to what you are saying. So make it make sense. You told her you wanted to explore other people. You told her if you had gone home, your regret would be that you hadn't explored other people. What else do you need to say? Let's break up. She has understood you. She's moved on. Anyway, you then have Scott pull Destiny for a chat and they have a conversation. I think they really got on great. I think what put her off was his age because she's dealt with so many people that are below 22 and they've all been crap. Zay, Marco. So I don't know whether she's open to the idea of trying to even explore things with Scott. I think at this stage she's just like, let me know when it's time to go home and I'll go home. And that's it. But they did have great banter and he was actually shocked to hear that she's a microbiologist. I think that impressed him a lot. So I don't know. I think he's going to lean more towards Imani because Imani is more adventurous, and Destiny because she's not as adventurous or because she's more serious. This is why the guys have sort of taken a step back because they have never been serious. They've gone to Love Island for a good time, whereas Destiny is looking for her person and she won't sort of do anything foolish just for the sake of it. She has to do it, but she'll do it with the right person. And then you have Kassy and Janae flirting. Oh God. Do I buy it? I don't know. It's too convenient. It's too convenient. And the fact that Kassy cannot forgive Leonardo because he betrayed her, but she's open to the idea of exploring a connection with somebody who slept with her ex doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. The fact that they went to the soul ties and they were having a conversation and they kissed, it's like, make it make sense. If you're upset with Leo for going all the way with Janae, why are you so comfortable kissing Janae? Why? Make it make sense? I don't know. It's a pity though that all those guys who were messing up, Mateo, Kyle, even Leo, might end up going home because the two girls that they were after, if they choose to recouple, then the three of them are out because they have no one to recouple with. And it's going to be interesting. I can't wait for Zay to catch the same flight. I don't know what will happen to Destiny though. Oh, I'm worried. So eventually all the girls find out about Kassy and Janae and the fact that they kissed while they were in soul ties. I don't know. Because Kassy is not saying she's bi, she's saying she's bi-curious. So I don't know whether she's just doing it because it's something new or whether she's doing it just to get back at Leo. I don't know. She then sits down for a conversation with Carmen and tells Carmen about the poem that Leo wrote for her. And Kassy is saying she feels like the door is slightly opening for Leo, but she doesn't want to let him know because she's worried that if she does, then he's going to stop. So she'll continue to just keep him working hard and grafting hard for it, and hopefully he might win her back. And then the Islanders get ready for the night, and they receive a text message that it's a heart race challenge, and for me, I'm like, oh my God, here we go. they're going to find a reason to turn my girl down because they're going to say she didn't perform. But hey, it is what it is. First up to come out was Hannah. She did great. I didn't really see much of it because they kept moving the cameras. I don't know whether some of it was inappropriate or whatever, but she did great. I liked it. Marco enjoyed himself. Everybody seemed to enjoy himself. She didn't kiss anyone, which was good. And then Kenzo and Carmen, the red flags are showing now. The red flags are showing. Because Carmen comes out, she dances on every guy, and then suddenly Kenzo's in his feelings because he's saying, why did she dance on everyone? And it's like, what? Did he expect her to just walk past them and then just come and dance on him? What did he expect? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. He's coming across as a very jealous boyfriend, and that at times can be very unsafe. The other guys felt very awkward. They even asked him afterwards that, what's wrong? What's wrong? Because they could tell he was very upset. And it's like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't know. I hope they just distract and they go home. I just hope this is what brings them to an end, because I'm not buying whatever they're selling. I really am not. And the fact that it's becoming this a possessive boyfriend doesn't make sense to me, given it's a challenge. She didn't kiss anyone, and she actually told Hannah that we agreed that we wouldn't kiss anyone in challenges. What did he expect her to do, though? Why didn't he tell her that with a heart race challenge, I don't want you dancing on anybody else? Is he going to control everything she does once they leave the villa? It doesn't make sense. I knew it was too good to be true, and now the cracks are showing, and we can't wait. And it's surprising that Carmen seems to have got a fancier outfit, but we'll see what everybody else wears. But it seems they spent a lot of money on her outfit. I've said this before, the producers always have their favorite, and this season it's Carmen, and we'll see how that plays out. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye everyone.